Hi, everyone. It's Kelly Russell, the Rock Your Joy Coach. Thank you so much for being with me today, and welcome to my channel. So, my topic for today is death and resurrection. And this would have been a topic that I would have talked about a couple of weeks ago at Easter. And yet, my lived experience was that prior to that, in the couple of weeks prior to that, I experienced a great loss in that my niece of 54 years, Betsy, made her transition from this world sooner than expected. She had a terminal illness, but it was not anything any of us thought was going to happen so soon. And so, of course, I've been steeped in the Course in Miracles ideas surrounding death and resurrection for my own comfort and because it's my thought system, and because what kind of Course in Miracles teacher would I be if that isn't the place that I went to? Obviously, I had my human reactions as well. And that's the reason why I haven't recorded this until I did. The Course in Miracles teaches that death is the ego's like pièce de resistance. Death is the central idea behind the illusion of the world. If there was no concept of death, there would be no world. It's the whole thing that the ego's thought of the world has been built around. That is what the context is that we are born into a body, that we live for a while in the body, and that body then is vulnerable to illness and injury and attack and accident and whatever, and then it dies, and that's the end of us. And that is what the ego thought system teaches. And for many of us in this world, that is our lived experience, and we fear it. We take all kinds of actions and precautions, and we have all kinds of anxiety and fear, and we are largely driven by our fear of death and sickness. And yet it is all part of the illusion. And it doesn't mean that we don't experience our human emotions and that it's not appropriate for us to do so. And I certainly have in this experience, but at the same time, I'm very, very comforted by what I know to be the truth that is as it is taught in the Course in Miracles, which is that we are dreaming this whole idea of a world and bodies, and that other people are separate from us in separate bodies, and that they come into our lives at the moment of birth, or at the moment that we meet them. They come to the world in the moment of birth. They come into our lives at the moment that we physically meet them, and they end their presence in our lives at the time that they die, or we end our presence in their lives at that time. And that, that's bullshit. And what kind of a God would have constructed a world where that's what happens? We're born into it, and the thought is that we're born into sin on top of it, and that we live these lives of, struggling and having moments of happiness and joy, and then a lot of moments of discomfort and sadness and grief and loss and fear and anxiety, etc. And then we die. Like, what kind of God would actually create their child, their beloved child, to have that kind of shitty experience? Like, that right there proves to me that is not our correct concept of God, and that what we've been taught through the world's various spiritual traditions about that is wrong. And so, rather, that life is eternal. And that's what Jesus's whole point was with the resurrection, in in appearing to certain of his disciples after the crucifixion, after those 3 days, that was the whole point. It wasn't that the body lives forever. The body is a construct of our mind, as is the world. Anything that can be destroyed is not real. But that does not include us as the light of the world, us as pure spirit, us as pure love, extensions of the love of the Creator, the love of God. And so that is what the truth of us is. And that is what Jesus was demonstrating, is that, look, you guys think I died and I was crucified and hung on a cross and you're all sad and everything. And the truth is, I'm right here. I never left. And he was in spirit form, but he projected that into the world so that they could see him. And so that is what I've really been experiencing in these last couple of weeks since Betsy made her transition. Is I feel her with me. I see her with me. I feel her presence. I experience her light. I hear her talking to me, not with my ears, but in my mind. And I am not experiencing the same kind of separation from her as I have in the past with significant loved ones who have passed away in my life prior to my having had the thought system of A Course in Miracles, and having had it so strongly now, and being so having it be so ingrained as my thought system, has just truly been a godsend. You know, in our experience, death is the closest thing that we go through in this illusory world to the pain, the unbelievable pain of the separation that we think happened, that actually didn't really happen. But this is how we relive it over and over and over again, not only in all of the different ways that our unconscious guilt that we carry because we think we separated from God plays out into the world in all of the negative and difficult and challenging experiences that we have, but the biggest one, the one that we are the most afraid of, the one that it just is, the mother of all of our projections and the mother of all the illusions, is death, fear of death of our own body, and fear of being left behind when one of our loved ones dies. And so I'm just here to tell you that I'm living proof that Betsy is somebody that was very close to me when she was here in physical form, and that we did stuff together and we saw each other and we laughed like hell together, and she was so important to me. And yet, in having made her transition, she is still all of those things. And I still feel her right here. And although I can't see her with my body's eyes and I can't hear her with my body's ears, I am still in communion with her all day long. And that is what my experience is. And so I wanted to share that with you, because I know that, and I'm not suggesting that if you have lost a loved one, or when you do, that it's going to be an easy experience, or that you should not allow yourself to feel the human emotions that you feel, and as I said, I did and do that, but that as Course in Miracles students, returning ourselves to the truth, as A Course in Miracles says, there is no death. The Son of God is free. And I feel that not only for Betsy being free of a body that was not working in the way that it was designed to work anymore, and it was doing what in the ego's thought system it's designed to do, which is to cease to live, but that I am free also, in the sense that I'm free of feeling the intense finality and separation as if Betsy is gone forever and no longer a part of my life. That just isn't the case for me. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have this thought system of A Course in Miracles and to know what the truth is, to be able to journey through this experience in my dream in the way that I am. It is much gentler and much kinder than the other experiences that I have had in the past when this was not my thought system and when I wasn't aware of what the truth is. So that is my message for today. And thank you so much for being here and joining with me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so. I'm here every week, not talking about death every week, but talking about the practical application of A Course in Miracles. And if you're interested in how to live A Course in Miracles thought system in your life and you would like some help in making your life miraculous, in being able to train your mind to be able to see what goes on in life, to be able to help reduce conflict in your relationships, to have a happier experience of the dream, a more abundant life, and just be in joy much more of the time, you might consider booking a coaching discovery call with me. And there is a button below to do that. So thanks again, and I'll see you next week.